Hey guys, I want to do something a little different for you tonight. This is another folding knife review video, but this one is fake. Not the video. The video is real. The knife is fake. Now, as I'm sure many of you know, if you are knife people and look online at knives at all, or have looked into the history of different locks and folding knives, you're looking at what should be a Chris Reeves Sebenza 21. It's not. This is a knockoff. This is a Chinese knockoff. And I'm very impressed with how close it is. Now, I need to let everyone know right off the bat, I don't own a real Sebenza. Would I like to? Well, after owning this and carrying this around, I think I would. I like the ergonomics, I like the shape, I like the feel of it, and realizing that the quality of this is not going to be what I'm going to get from Chris Reeves speaks volumes to what he must have. But I didn't have $500 Canadian to go ahead and pick up a Sebenza 21 and risk not liking it. Now, of course, it's very common. It's a very well-known knife. I shouldn't say it's very common, but I could look up review videos all day long, but I'm still not going to know until I have it in my hands. So I went onto a site, in this particular case called AliExpress, that you order things from overseas. They had one of these for $73 Canadian. It's a lot of money to spend on a knockoff. But I was looking, and the pictures looked really close. When I got it here, it looks even closer. I bring up Sebenza 21 pictures from reputable sellers or from Chris Reeves' site, and I don't see any difference. Now, some purists, some people that are real big fans of the Sebenza are probably going to pick out some differences right away, and you may even pick it out right in my video. And good on you if you can. I can't. This lanyard, it's tied the same as the original, but just a little bit of black twine that was on there before didn't. I put a little bit of heavier cordage on there. The packaging is, now of course, again, I don't have a Sebenza, but this sure seems like legitimate type packaging. So we've got a logo here, Chris Reeves Knives. Also telling us, we see here, 2000 and 2001 Blade Manufacturing Quality Award, 2003 to 2012 Blade Manufacturing Quality Award, CPM S35VN Crucible Industries, proudly made in the USA. It has a little link on this box, www.knifebase.com. No, that's not where I bought this knife. And when I go to that site, now this is quite some time later. I've probably had this for 9 months to a year. But anyway, when I go to this site, it tells me that the owner of the site has exceeded their bandwidth allocation. So, can't get there. But when you look at this, nice little Chris Reeves Knives leather pouch. Think twice, cut once. Good quality feeling pouch. The stitching's nice on it. Really, it would be just a storage pouch, I guess. There's no belt clip or anything, but I would assume that's probably comes in the normal packaging. Comes with the guarantee, which this is the first sign I had of, okay, something's wrong. I mean, I knew there was something wrong before I ordered it, but as what I would see as a warning sign for someone getting ripped off. Here's my large Sebenza 25 handwritten warranty card, essentially. It's a Sebenza 21, not a Sebenza 25. And, yeah, I mean, it looks legitimate. It looks like something that when this thing was made, the person putting it together went ahead and put their stamp on it, and it looks legitimate. It's just got the wrong model number listed there. What we got here? I've had this for a while. I haven't looked through this. Let's see here. Hi friend, welcome to Buy From Our Store. We are a professional seller focused on tool and knife. We wholesale all kind of brand knife. If you need anything about knife, you can contact me. We have our website, www.knifebase.com. When you get the item, please, PLZ if you're in the States, give me a feedback. That is meaningful to us. If you are a wholesaler, you can contact me. We can give you an attractive discount. Thanks. Regard, instead of regards, www.knifebase.com. That doesn't look like it was sent from America. What do we got here? Integral lock. Okay, so this is just the description of the integral lock, which Chris Reeves has coined as that. Frame lock is pretty much how I know it. What do we have here? Product registration. Can you imagine sending a product registration into Chris Reeves with your Chris Reeves Sebenza 21 that you thought you bought, for them to have you to go ahead and tell you, you didn't buy that from any of our resellers? Now, I don't know how that works. I've never registered a knife before, but that's pretty bold for these people knocking off this knife to go ahead and give you everything to go ahead and find out for yourself that it's not a real knife. Now, they may never get back to you. I mean, obviously, if you ever had to send it in for warranty work, you're going to find out real quick that it's not a real Sebenza. But, man, these guys put a ton of time into making sure you had all the proper documentation. Obviously, they would have had to have had a Sebenza shipped to them to knock it off so well. But yeah, so that's everything that came with it. Onto the knife. Honestly, it feels like a nice knife. It is solid. It's nice and heavy. Titanium handles. Of course, as it says on the box, it says that it's Crucible. Getting a shadow on you there. Crucible S35 VN, which is what a Sebenza 21 should be. But of course, on the AliExpress website, it lists as, and I will read it right off the site for you, D2 high-speed steel, top steel in brackets, 60 to 62 Rockwell. Now, it's not D2 steel, obviously. I'm assuming it's probably 420 or 440 stainless. It's not going to be top quality steel. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent $73 on it. So that's my thought on the matter anyway. So as I'm looking at this, you can see here, oh, there we go, Idaho made, Chris Reeves logo. All the bolts are in the exact right spot according to pictures I'm looking of actual Chris Reeves knives. The spacers are all right. Everything looks right. Back of the spine is nicely rounded, very nice and comfortable. I'm of course used to having a hard rounded spine on most of my blades, especially survival blades. Obviously you want the 90-degree edge for striking a flint or a fire steel. But yeah, it's really nice, rounded, comfy, and it works. It's got a really nice finish on the blade. What would you call it? It's not a hammered finish, but it's got a nice coating on there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. There you go. Kind of a little bit of a fleck in there. It's attractive. It's the anodizing on the hardware has stayed. The blue. The belt clip's quite nice. Very functional. It's strong enough. Of course, with the titanium, it slides out of your pocket just nicely. Yeah, as far as if I start telling you about ergonomics and stuff, it's got the ergonomics that a Sebenza does. So you're not going to learn anything new about the knockoffs unless they were a horrible knockoff that wasn't even the same shape. It feels really nice. It's not a really long handle. I mean, I do have fairly large hands. My hands are 2XL in most gloves, but it fits in my hands nicely. It doesn't hang out a whole bunch at the bottom, but it's adequate for length. Specs on the knife as far as measurements, stuff that we don't have a hard time believing. It is 3.625 inches in blade length. The overall length is, let's see here, 8.335, going to the three decimal points here. Handle material now. Chris Reeve says it's 6AI4V titanium. The Chinese knockoff site says it's titanium, so take that how you will. Weight on this knife is 4.7 ounces. I don't have a scale. That's just what I'm being told from the site. And it came from the factory nice and sharp. Very nice edge on it. I have not abused this thing. I guess really though, you're not going to abuse a Sebenza either. But I would certainly be the guy that would have it in my pocket every day if I had spent the money on it. Now I have a fairly extensive collection, so that was extensive, not expensive. But so this does get some carry. As you can see, it's got some scratches in the finish on the handles, just regular pocket wear. So not all my knives don't really get used every day. I rotate them in and just kind of decide what I'm going to carry that morning. But yeah, it's nice. Hollow ground, nice and sharp. Nice flat section at the top. You can hold it on a fixed angle sharpener with. Again, and pretty much what I'm getting into now is reviewing a Sebenza, but I don't want to confuse the issue. This is not a Sebenza. It is, as far as I'm concerned, a very high quality knockoff. Now, as far as quality of materials, I can't tell you exactly what this steel is, so I can't speak to that. But I can tell you it is solid. It locks up really strong. It feels good in the hand. Do I have complaints? Of course I do. If it was perfect, it would be easy to knock off or pass off as one. But there's going to be some things that are wrong. Of course, it's not original. This lock bar, ever since I've got it, it's been stiff. Now, you heard that click. I've gotten used to it, and I've made sure to jam my finger here so that I don't overextend the lock bar, because you easily could. Now, I contacted the seller, and being in China, I really didn't get much traction on it. But I was giving them videos and sending them proof that the lock bar was really stiff. It's gotten better over time, but if you put it out, there, you can hear how hard it comes off sometimes. If you're not slamming the knife open, it's a lot easier. But it's the lockup is quite heavy on it. It's over 50%. You start getting any wear on that titanium, and it's going to be hitting the other side of the handle before too long. But again, it does lock up strong when it's open. Really like the blade shape. Really like the knife. I may have come across a little bitter on some things with, this is not a real Sebenza. Again, I want to emphasize, I was aware of that. I thought that it was worth it to me to spend the $73, get this one, and then I have many friends that are into knives. They all knew I was buying this as a knockoff, and I had many of them, or a few of them, saying, hey, I'll take it off your hands if you decide you want a real one. So I'm not going to lose much on this regardless, whether it came from China or from the States, from Idaho. it doesn't matter as far as my purposes go for today. All in all, it's a very nice knife. I'm very impressed. Little oil. No, I wouldn't want to oil the lock bar anyway. The lock bar is the only complaint really that I have. Other than that, it's held up quite nicely. Just a regular daily carry, and I can't imagine that this wouldn't fool anyone that was buying this and didn't realize they were buying a knockoff. And it's very clearly listed as Chris Reeve Sebenza on this site from China. They're not trying to be honest with you. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Thankfully, I'm aware of that. I don't expect to buy a U.S.-made knife from China. And I hope you guys are in that situation as well, and none of you ever get taken on something like this and spend $500 on a $70 knife or a $50 knife or whatever the case may be. But on a whole, I gotta say I am actually impressed with this. I'll continue to carry it. Will I buy a real Sebenza? I'd like to say I will. It's a lot of money for a pocket knife. It would by far be the most expensive pocket knife that I owned. But I can't say it won't happen. I like it, I really do. And Chris Reeves designing a knife like this, I'd love to support the guy, but it'll be down the road a little bit. I can't afford one this week. You never know. Maybe in a few months I might bite the bullet and go ahead and fill that spot. Go ahead and move this on down the line to somebody who really doesn't have the passion I do for knives and doesn't want to spend so much, but still wants a nice knife. This will fit the bill. It's not bad. But again, this is my Chris Reeves Sebenza 21 knockoff, ordered from China. And as far as knockoffs go, I'd have to give it a 10. Again, as a knockoff. I say 10. Let's go back to 8 due to that lock bar issue. But for authenticity, they hit it out of the park. I don't make it a habit of buying knockoffs. This is one of only 2 that I have. And the other one is the exact same situation. I wanted to see the size of a knife and really feel it in my hand before I spent the money on it. And I'll show you a video on that one that's going to be a lot less positive than this video because it was a pretty cheap feeling knockoff of a Spyderco Dragonfly. But I will show you that video as well, just so you can see the other side of the coin, because it's pretty extreme opposite to this one. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. Appreciate your watching, and have a great day.